most intense, thrilling, electrifying sport on the planet. Mixed martial arts. You've been looking for the definitive podcast to call your new home to hear everything about it. The search is over. This is the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. Bringing you the hottest MMA breakdowns straight from the heart of the octagon. This show is all about MMA breakdowns. For fans, by fans. We're talking UFC, MMA, and the occasional big boxing match. We'll bring our unique take on how these fights are going to play out and who we think are the best bets. Welcome to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. And now your hosts, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and Emiliano, a.k.a. Jive Turkey Nano.
What is up, fight fans? Welcome back to another episode of the MMAnomaly Show, No Filter. I'm your host, Olin, a.k.a. MMAnomaly, and with me, as usual, is the co-host with the most. I'm talking about the one. I'm talking about the only Jive Turkey Nano, folks. How we doing, brother? Glad to have you back.
Let's go. Great to be back as always. Great to see you. I'm excited as all be out, man. It's another beautiful day in paradise, as you like to say. I'll steal your words there. It's Thursday, Friday Junior. We're taking a trip to China. We got a China car we're breaking down here. Set your alarm clocks a little bit early. We're going to be up and at 'em early Saturday night or late Friday night,
early Saturday.
One of those two. But I'm excited to break it down.
Dot the I, cross the T, all that stuff.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. But man, it's going to be a low key banger. Another one we like to say around here. Not a lot of big names, some tough names. Can't wait to attempt it with you here as we do our best to break it down. Great to see all y'all in the chat. If you're here with us, let us know where you're at. Be live. Show us your present. Throw some emojis in there. Let us know how you're feeling about this China card. But can't wait to dive on in, brother.
And with that being said, we will go ahead and jump right on into the card, folks. We have UFC Macau, as the Jive Turkey himself said. First things first, we do have a canceled fight. It was a featherweight bout between Bin Shi and Hang Ji Zhu. I still had to give myself flack for, trying those names and probably mispronouncing them. So we'll move into the first fight of the night, which is a lightweight bout between Hayasire Maheshate and Nicholas Mota. This is probably going to be a bit of a banger to start off the fight. I'll be honest. Nicholas Mota typically goes out there and either gets a finish or gets finished, typically. So, I mean, the reason I say that is because obviously we have the round 3 finish with Trey Ogden, which was overturned. We have the fight before that against Manuel Torres, round 1 KO via Manuel Torres. And then his most recent fight, obviously, over Tom Nolan, which, of course, was another round 1 finish, TKO. This time, Nicholas Mota's hands did the talking. So going into this fight, I mean, Maheshate is definitely a beast. He's really, really solid, very well-rounded, solid grappling. He's a bit of a decision, grindy kind of fighter. But he also has knockout power, right? We saw him knock out not only a UFC level fighter, but Steve Garcia, right? He knocked out Steve Garcia in the first fucking round, bro. Got that counter right hand, if I remember correctly. Nasty, nasty stuff in round number 1. And shout out Crossover, folks, in the chat. What's up, brother? Thanks again for joining yesterday. And folks, if you're not already subscribed, make sure you subscribe to that young man's channel as well. At Crossover MMA. He does breakdowns every week. Damn good ones at that. So, I mean, look, when it comes to this one, I'm a bit torn, right? There's a number of different ways that this could go. But as a betting man, I kind of am liking Mota here. And maybe you'll have to talk me off a ledge after I'm done here, Nano, but you give me Nicholas Mota, who does have that knockout over Steve Garcia and his most recent knockout as well, at plus 160 odds over a Maheshate who is not perfect, right? He is a solid fighter, but he is also somebody who has been knocked out once, who has been grinded to a decision twice. And I think his opponent might be able to get it done. I obviously the differentiator is going to be the grappling. If Mahashate is able to make this a very drawn out, grindy grappling affair, he could get a decision win. But that Nicholas Mota money line's calling my name here early, Nano. What are your thoughts?
I like it, brother. I like it when you're taking those early underdogs. Certainly someone you would want to bet on there from an underdog perspective. I do like Nicholas Mota. He's got a lot of juice behind him. 31 years young, 14-5 record, and 10 KOs. Dude's definitely got some heavy hands, and he certainly is going to want to display them on, I guess it's Friday night for us here on the West Coast, the best coast. But man, I'd be naive to say, although we are more familiar with Nicholas Mota, he's 3-2-1 in the UFC, certified hands of steel there. You got the KO power. But Mahashate is somebody that we shouldn't be sleeping on here. I think coming in, he is the hometown kid fighting in his backyard of China. So he's going to have a little bit of extra juice, a little bit of extra motivation there. Maybe even little things like better sleep, better lead up. Could be pressure, but it's happened. Is made from pressure. Diamonds, baby. So this could be his time to shine. He's 24 years young, 10-3 record, 4 KOs, 1 submission to the name. And he's got a 3-2 record. One thing he did mention to the press was a little bit of pressure in his last fight, coming off those 2 losses back to back. He stepped up to the occasion. He got the split decision. I'm hoping he keeps that pressure on himself. You never want to go. You never want to be back in that kind of position. So hopefully that's motivating him here. He's a big lightweight as well. He's sitting at a 6 foot even. His opponent, Nicholas Mota, is only going to be about 5'9". I'm sure he'd tell you he's 5'11 and a half, but that's all good. Most people like to round up. I feel you, brother. But he's going to be a little bit bigger. So Mahashate is the betting favorite at this point. So maybe Vegas is seeing a bigger hometown kid with a little bit extra juice. But again, I don't think I necessarily want to talk you off the boat. I do like a good power puncher in there. I do like a dog with the extra bite. So I am leaning the underdog here, Nicholas Mota, as well. That was a name that, I have to be I have to be sold on. Why would I bet this underdog? Why would I go against the pros in Vegas that are making these odds here? And hey, he's got that puncher's chance, truly. So I like Nicholas Mota here. But hey, Mahashate's fight. He's the hometown kid. It's hard to go against that too, I will admit.
And I will admit, I did get my wires crossed there for a second, folks. It was Mahashate who got the knockout over Steve Garcia. I think in my last little roundup, I was like, oh yeah, he also got that knockout over Steve Garcia. No, that was Mahashate. That was not Nicholas Mota. But Nicholas Mota is a hell of a power puncher. We can definitely see this happening, right? I'm not going to pull the trigger on this bet, though, folks. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm not going to bet him right away. I am going to wait and see if odds open up for this young man by finish. If, look, I'm actually flying to Vegas tomorrow evening. If when I land there, they have the odds out for inside the distance, I'll probably put a little bit on Nicholas Mota inside the distance. It's going to be a fun weekend, guys.
Yeah, inside the distance for sure. I'm going back. I'm rekindling my pick here. My official pick is going to be Mahashate. I think the icing on the cake is on
Mahashate.
Steve Garcia. That's pretty impressive.
Pretty damn impressive. I mean, if I'm ever talking crazy about someone who's got a win over Steve Garcia, you don't hesitate, bro. You just tell me straight up.
Come on, don't be crazy.
And with that being said, folks, we move into the next bout, which of course is a bantamweight bout between Long Xiao and Li Huang. I'll be completely honest with you. Not a ton of heat on this fight for me. Of course, Long Xiao is coming off of a decision loss to Li Shangho. They fought on that Whitaker versus Chimaev fight night. You know what I'm talking about. But I digress, man. I don't know who I'm going for because I just haven't watched a ton of tape on either of these guys. This is not one that I was super, super excited about. I will be avoiding it from a betting perspective. It's minus 148 versus plus 124 here as far as the odds perspective goes. It's damn near a pick'em. And I'm not confident enough in either guy. I think this is a pick'em on paper and in the cage. Nano, do you have a dog in this race or no?
I'm in agreement with you here. I think obviously want to acknowledge we're taking a trip here to China, and what the UFC will like to do is try to get people from that neck of the woods or from that actual country there. It makes sense with other fighters as well. But a lot of people here, and I don't know if so. Not too familiar, to be honest. Had to do a lot of research prior to this. All good. There's so much going on with the UFC, and a lot of these fighters fought in the road to UFC. I don't know if you had a chance to watch that. I think maybe that's on Fight Pass. We used to break down the Ultimate Fighter, things like that. Maybe we'll get back on it if y'all feel like that'd be something worth tuning into. If y'all are already tuning in, maybe we could all talk about it.
Maybe during that lapse of fights where there's a couple weeks without, we can break down some of those old road to UFC cards, depending on how good this Macau one performs.
Yeah, so we're definitely going to learn a lot based on what we see here. But to your point, not a ton of juice, not people I'm going to sit here and try to sell you the dream on. But I do think Long Zhao is not a long shot here. He's the Ben favorite. I like what I'm seeing. I think the one takeaway or thing that stands out is he's 26 years old and he's got a 26-9 record. I mean, my goodness, you want to talk about being productive and certainly looking the part as a fighter. This guy has everything. The streak in his hair, the muscular frame, stockier at a 5'8" here. He's actually bigger than his opponent, taller and just kind of mass-wise as well. But he also has the ground game to his disposal, so he's got a well-rounded pedigree. I think he'll probably find a way to get it done. But Quang Bang Lee, hell of a name. I mean, I think
I was going to say, what a nickname. I mean, he definitely wins based on that alone, right?
I mean, come on, Quang Bang, man. He's at the Quang and Bang him. He did have a tough decision loss to El Guapo in the UFC's 0-1 due to it. But that's not the toughest of L's. El Guapo's my guy. I'll give him benefit of the doubt there. Doesn't demote him in my book by any means. But he's 33 years old, so he's 7 years older than his opponent. 8-1 record, two KOs, 3 subs, far less active than his opponent. So it's hard to bet against someone with everything going like I just mentioned, everything going his way. So give me Long Zhao. Let's go.
Long Zhao. Let's go. Yeah, man. But Quang Bang. That's a fun name. Quang Bang.
It's a great name.
Look, I will tell you though, I don't know every fighter on this card because like my co-host said here, we are taking a trip to Macau, China, right? And as a result, they are trying to build, and by they, I mean the UFC, the brass, they are trying to build Chinese superstars, right? They're trying to get some local talent, some people that they know folks are going to show up for and show out for, and hopefully watch those folks put on a show. Now, when it comes to someone who's definitely going to put on a show, look, man, if you paid attention last week to Mauricio Rufy and you enjoyed what you saw, this next fight is for you, folks. This is the prelim you want to watch because this young man, Lonier Kavanagh, is a stud, but he's coming in against Jose Ocho, who is also a stud. Both of these young men are 7-0, undefeated records. And I mean, the age-old saying here, folks, someone's O has got to go. On this given night, I think it's going to be Jose's. I'm worried that Kavanagh's just going to be too much for him. And not only do I think he gets it done, I think he gets it done in emphatic fashion. I think he gets it done via finish. And before I pass it to you, let's jump into the chat real quick. We got Taz in the chat. Y'all are fucking cute. You're fucking cute, Taz. We appreciate you.
Stop it.
Fucking hit that one with an air horn. Let's go. And then we got S-Dogs in the chat right here. Shout out Sterling, S-Dogs MMA Talk, and drop that dude a follow. Just when I thought the day couldn't get better, I ended vibing with the boys. Shout out to the dog.
Great to see you, brother. Hey, man, we're just trying to get in that. Yeah, we're just trying to get in that flow state, just like you, big dog. We see you out there flowing. Come on, baby, let's go,
baby. Grinding his S-Dogs. So, man, who you got in this one? You got Kavanagh or you got Ocho?
This is tough, brother. This is tough. I was going back and forth. Like you mentioned, Jose Ochoa. Mexicano like myself, certainly want to root for them. You kind of looking like a babyface assassin out here. That should be his nickname. I don't think it is, but it's got a good ring to it, even though there is already a baby assassin. I digress. Jose Ochoa, starting with the opponent here, 23 years young, 7-0 record, 6 KOs, 1 submission, 100% finish rate. But the asterisk here, and I think why the UFC is hesitant to give him the betting favorite, is he's making his UFC debut. So we just simply don't know what we're going to get from a Jose Ochoa. Looks tough. I mean, he's beating up on dudes when you turn on the tape. He looks fundamentally sound. And just like most of us Mexicanos, he's going to have a little bit of that Mexican boxing kind of style. Si se puede, he's going to be tough in there, durable, all those great things. But when it comes to winning the fight, let's go, baby. Let's go. But I'm with you, brother. I am going to be walking this loner road, the only road that I have ever known. I forgot the rest of the song, but
don't know where it goes, but it's the only road, and I walk alone. I think that's the words. I didn't know them either, but I didn't want to leave you hanging.
Yeah,
So just go with my heart there.
Yep. Well, we had it covered, baby.
We walk alone. We walk alone.
Loner. I don't even know. I mean, Lonier, maybe, if I want to get fancy.
Lonier Kavanaugh.
But I'm glad I'm not a loner on this one. I'm glad you're joining me, so I'm not alone in picking Lonier Kavanaugh. 25 years young, 7-0 record, 4 KOs, 1 sub. Got the KO on Dana White's Contender Series. Think that's enough of a sample of approval for myself to know he's the Ben favorite, and I can't go against Vegas on this one. I like what I'm seeing from Lonier, and the name has a ring to it as well. That certainly doesn't hurt. Let's go, baby.
Definitely has a ring to it. Man. I don't know if you saw this guy's fight, but he's slick. He fights like a fucking Mortal Kombat character in there. The range management, the shot selection, like, you would not think that this kid is 25 years old because he's out there moving like a Demetrius Johnson. And it makes sense because he is a flyweight. I think he could be the next big flyweight thing. And I mean, the flyweight division is wide open for the taking for somebody like this. So I look forward to this fight. And folks, it's only the third fucking fight of the night. Or maybe the fight of the morning, I should say. Because a lot of these folks across the pond that usually have to stay up all night, they're going to get to wake up and watch it at like 8 a.m. So you know what? Good for you guys. You guys get the victory tune tonight. Not us. We're the ones over here getting socked in the face watching it at midnight, and the main card starting at 3 a.m. for me. But I digress. After that flyweight fight, we have another flyweight fight, folks. We have... All right. This name is just fucking mean, okay? Like, with all due respect, and again, I am saying with all due respect, this dude's parents named him this. If you're watching the video version, you can see that this dude's name has every letter in the alphabet, I'm pretty sure. Aside from maybe Z. So, it is Nimjargal Tumendembrel.
Nice, dude. You crushed it. That's exactly it. Let's go.
And shout out to fucking John Anik, because if I hadn't watched the John Anik and Kenny Florian show, we'd have had a record scratch moment at how bad I would have done at that. For fucking sure. S-Dog said, did a prediction show today. These names are fucking terrible. Yeah, I watched you guys doing the pronunciations, and I was like, I need to watch the Kenny Florian and John Anik show, so that way I'm not doing the same exact thing, because they are not easy to pronounce. So we have, as I said, Nimjargal Tumendembrel coming in against Carlos Hernandez. Thanks, Carlos. Easy one. Threw us a bone there. We really appreciate that on this night. So with that being said, look, I'm going to treat this fight the same way I treat Dragon Ball Z games. You know, the harder they are to pronounce, the better they're going to be. Give me Nimjargal. I think he's going to get it done. And I hope he does, just so I have to say his name at least 3 more times next week. And I mean, how do you not win when your literal nickname is Art of Knockout? His nickname is Art of Knockout? Are you fucking like on one with that? That's insane. He's got to win the fight. You can't have that nickname and lose a fight. Probably why he's undefeated, and he will remain undefeated. How do I think he gets it done? I'm leaning between a submission and a decision. Typically, even though his name is Art of Knockout, he has 5 submission wins, 2 KOs, 1 decision. I think the best path for him to find a victory here in a man that's 9-4. By the way, all of his losses coming by way of across the board, really. 2 by decision, 1 by submission, 1 by KO. Nimjargo can really get it done anywhere it goes, I think, based on what I've seen from the guy. But, I mean, this is his first real UFC test, right? Road to UFC is a different animal than the actual UFC. So, man, I'm excited for this one. Not as excited as that last one. I'm going to call a spade here, folks. But it should be a really fun fight. Give me Tumendembrel. Who you got, Nano? Please say that name.
I will. I'm going to work up to it here because that is who I'm leaning towards as well, right? The art of knockout himself. Not even the artist. He is the art, the masterpiece itself. We're talking about Nimjargal Tumendembrel.
So good. So good. You crushed it. Knocked it out of the fucking park, kid.
Thank you, man. Half of it's, fake it until you make it. Appreciate that. But he's got a lot of things going his way. And what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at a younger fighter that's 26 years old, so 5 years the younger. 8-0 record, 5 submission wins, 2 KOs, 7 of 8 of them didn't need the judges. So he's got a high finish rate, 2-0 in the UFC. Was able to get a submission win there, got an RNCW. And I'm talking about a rear naked choke win with that acronym there. I like what I'm seeing, and I think he got the name Art of Knockout. I was watching some of his highlights, and it's fun. He's artistic. He's like a Bob Ross out there, throwing some very unique elbows to knee combinations. He's truly in that flow state, like our boy S Dog is on Instagram. If you get a chance to go see him, check him out. But yeah, man, give me the Art of Knockout. I feel bad going against the Chi-Town kid himself, Carlos Hernandez, repping the States. I know, not American of me here, but I got to be realistic. Even though he is the betting favorite, the way I see it, he's a little bit older, 31 years old, 9-4 record, 4 subs, but he's also 3-3 in the UFC. He's on a 2-fight losing streak, though I will admit, he certainly needs this really badly. Does that desperation mean he's gonna be able to, I guess improve his skills or suddenly have more skills in the octagon than his opponent? No, that's not, outside of the mindset. It's really not much else that's gonna help him. But when you're looking at Nimjargal, sorry about that. Nimjargal.
I think it's like NEEM for the first.
I don't know what off the rails there. Averaging over 4.5 takedowns per fight, though he only has a couple in the UFC. He's got a well-rounded game. I don't see the path. I'm not seeing the same thing that Vegas is seeing here. So we got a couple dogs. Might be live this week. Let's go. That's my 2 cents, man.
I love it, man. I love it. I always do. Yeah, sounds like we are just riding the same train here for the first few fights, and we'd love to see it. Let's see if the train continues on the same tracks here. In the next one, we got Ming Shi coming in against Fang Xiaokan, which Mortal Kombat character name. Shao Kahn, it's just spelled different. This is going to be an interesting one. You got a 22-year-old versus a 30-year-old, 4-inch height difference here, and a 6-inch reach difference, right? Pretty tough stuff when you consider that reach. Both women are fighting out of China. One is ranked number 1 in China in flyweight. The other is ranked number 4. So should be a fun matchup. Both women have very, very winning records, right? Shao Kahn is 5-0 in her last 5. Her opponent is 4-1 in her last 5. And I mean, this could really go either way. If you want to pick up a really, really big dog here, plus 320 on Ming Shi is not a terrible play here. I don't think so anyway. But again, I also don't know a ton about these ladies. I will tell you, I have only watched their most recent fights, each of them. So not really a ton of tape to digest, at least on my end. But I don't think that Shao Kahn is leaps and bounds ahead of her opponent here. I think the biggest thing is going to be the 6-inch reach advantage that she has. But again, if her opponent is able to go out there and negate the reach to any extent, which we have seen her opponent get not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 submission wins and 9 decision wins. She's also got a little bit of KO power, right? But again, what we saw from her in the road to UFC was decisions, right? I think she might be a live dog. This is another one of those where I'm going to hopefully watch the odds shift even further. And I might find a way to hedge this one once I land in Vegas here this weekend. It feels fun betting live in person at the bookie, you know? So
it definitely does. It definitely hits a little different there. And we're talking about betting, and we're talking about doing it responsibly, y'all. So make sure you're doing
Only
that as
bet
always.
with money that you are 100% willing to give away as a Christmas gift.
Got to make sure we're good promoters there, absolutely. And it is the season of giving as you put the sleigh bells going there, ring, jing, jingling, all the way to Vegas. I love it. But listen, man, I'm gonna try to recommend you to keep that money in your pocket or put it on the real betting favorite here, and that's Fang Xiao Kahn. Okay, like you said, how you gonna go against the Mortal Kombat character? You should have known better. Okay, now I admit, a lot of similarities here. Both the women are 2-0 in the UFC road to UFC. But Ming Shai at 30 years old, 16-5 record, 6 submissions. Frankly, I think she's going to be a little bit more one-dimensional in that realm. When I did pull up the minimal tape here for Xiao Kahn, I did see a tall fighter at 5'7". She is a bit younger at 22, but still very active. With a 10-2 record, 4 KOs, 1 submission. Thing that stands out on tape is she's an explosive athlete, really, really powerful, sharp. Again, maybe it's that a little bit of spring in her step due to her youth, but she has the skills to back it up as well. She's got the takedown game. She can, take you down from distance, I guess is what I was trying to say. She can eat up a lot of ground. She knows what she's doing out there, and they're both fighting in China. They're both fighting in their backyard, so there's not necessarily an edge there. But I think the fans certainly get a good show of 2 of the best that they have here in the division. But I think Fang Xiao Kahn is going to showcase some high-level skills. She's going to have that 6.5-inch reach advantage. She's got the takedown game as well. I see a lot of paths for victory for her. But like you said, these are professionals. Anything's possible. But out of all the dogs we've talked about so far, this is my least favorite dog. I'll put it that way. I'll hand it back to my guy.
Well. If that's the case, then we'll have to put a shot on that one for next week, brother.
Let's go. I thought you were going to say I'm putting 2 units. I was like, okay, here we go.
I'm putting 2 units on it. I said, bet the kids Christmas money.
That's give what the people what they want. Serla said someone needs to say shots. We're doing shots. So let it be known.
Let's go. It happens. Pouring one up. Got to pour one up so I can get through the rest of these fucking names, kid.
Let's go. Gotta stay hydrated.
Gotta stay hydrated, folks. If you're drinking, pour one up with us. If you're not, pour up a little shot of water. My co-host here is on antibiotics, so I know Sterling's doing one back at home over there, representing Texas with me. Yes, so shout out to the boys, shout out to the girls, shout out to all the folks that make our world. We appreciate you.
That's a good one.
I just made that shit up.
Nice, dude. That was. You might be on with some.
You know what I'm saying? It just came to me, just like the glass to my lips. Now moving into the next one, folks. A lot of little people here, and I don't mean that in a derogatory way by any means. We got another flyweight bout here, folks. Another 125er. We got Kiru Sahota coming in against Dong Hyun Choi. Again, two dudes that we don't have a lot of tape on. Two dudes that are gonna likely go out there and do everything that they can in their power to make a name for themselves. This is basically a tournament championship, right? These people have been fighting on the road to UFC, and we have this is the end of the event for these folks. So how does it stack up? Well, we have one flyweight fighting out of Ireland in Kiro Sahota, the other one fighting out of Japan. But they're both going to make a name for themselves out here, in China. Damn near even odds on this one. It is, as we say, a pick'em. Minus 115 for Sahota, minus 105 for Dong Hyun Choi. How do I think that this fight actually plays out, though? I think Choi probably gets it done. I think it looks a little bit closer than it is going to be. For what I saw in their last two fights, I did think that Choi looked like the better fighter. Also, gonna have to address the elephant in the room here. He does have a reach deficit going into this fight. He is going to be fighting a longer guy in Kiro Sahota. Sahota has a 73-inch reach. Dong Hyun Choi has a 66.5-inch reach. So it's tough to bet on the shorter person. But Choi is undefeated for a reason. I don't think that reason is because he's fought nobodies. I think that reason is because he does have something special that he possesses. Now, both of his wins, it's worth noting, in Road to UFC were split decisions. So they were close fights. And the two fights right before then were knockouts. So all I'm saying is he's due for a knockout here, brother. I think he's probably going to come out here and I don't know if I had to put on my premonition cap. I have a weird feeling he's going to land a left hook. Just like a check left counter and drop his opponent coming in. You heard it here first, folks. That's my pick. I'm going with Dong Hyun Choi in this one. I know Kira is the slightly more experienced fighter, but he's been beaten twice before, and I think this will make the third time. Nano, who you got?
I like it, brother. I like it. I think, frankly, just to be contrarian and just because, I want to see one of us get really, really drunk next week, I'll sit on the other side of the boat here. They're both an even pick, and they're both literally minus 110 at this point. So, you could split a straw between these two and, have a good shot of being on either side of it, which is a great thing to see. That means it's absolutely competitive. But I like what you're saying, and I think a couple of things that stand out here. I typically do like to go with the young fighter, like your boy Dong Hyun Choi, 25 years old, 3 KOs. He is 2-0 on his road to UFC outing, or I guess on that road. And he proved to be really, really tough. He showed some good skills, the clinch game, being able to grapple, get them on the ground, some good hands as well. No finishes along that way, obviously, but he's got 3 under his belt. And then, making my way over to Kieran Dip here, seeing Sahota, Kiru fighting out of England. I like what I'm seeing from him as well. He's 29 years old. He's 5'10". So that's a big boy for this flyweight division. And I like that we're staying fly tonight. All night I kept thinking 3-6 Mafia. Gotta stay fly. We back, baby. Come on. Wouldn't be us if we didn't break out in song here and there. I digress.
You already know. You heard me?
You know the vibes, baby. But I like what I'm seeing from Kairu. I think one thing and why I'll stick with him and make the case, he's going to have a 7-inch reach advantage being at that 5'10" stature, 5 inches taller. And I think he's used to fighting these guys that are younger I guess younger too, but shorter than him that are going to have that advantage, especially when it comes to the grappling or getting the leg or making it muddy, getting inside the pocket. that's all familiar territory for him. And I think as long as he gets the clinch game going, gets some knees, a little bit of Muay Thai, and just showcases what he can do, I think there's a path for victory here for Kirandip Singh. Kiru, I will stick with that. And yeah, man, I mean, this will be a competitive one. So I'm on the other side. We'll see who's doing the shots next week, but it's literally a pick 'em, man. I can be torn. I can be talked out of it. What up, Sav? Salute right back at you.
What up, Sav? Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the show. You already know what it's about. It's about these fights in Macau. And no, I did not just make a bird sound. We're going to China this week, folks. We're going to Macau. Now, folks, this next fight is another really, really fun one to say. Just rolls right off your tongue, these names. We got a bantamweight bout between two young men named Berjang Gialisi. No, Gialisi. You know, they tell you, don't be jealous, because Gialisi is a hell of a bad thing, right? Gialisi. It's bad. And then his opponent, of course, is exactly what I tell Nano every time I remember the age difference between him and I. You're so young. You're so young.
You?
You? Oh, you're so young. You're so young, you. Oh man. So I mean, that was my favorite thing about this fight, was just I couldn't wait to say those names out loud. Are we going to watch it live? Yep. I can't tell you how sober I'm going to be because I'm going to be in Vegas, but I'm probably going to try and catch them live. We will see how the night plays out.
Yeah, how long it'll last, frankly. I mean, that's going to be certainly a late night. I think the main card starts at 4? So
who's doing the actual announcing in the cage? It's not going to, is it Bruce? There's no way they're getting Bruce to go to China.
No, but I'm certainly hoping, well, I guess it could be that one other guy. What's the
Las
Mexican
Vegas,
guy?
make some noise if you are ready.
Ready. You got him down. Make some noise if you are ready.
That's 10 people in the fucking in the Apex.
In the Apex.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You hear Chairman?
No.
Shut up. Down the front. Yeah, oh man. I hope they have some local talent, maybe some Chinese version of that, just super hyped up. Oh, yeah, it is the time. That'd be cool. I'd be so hyped. That will make me stay up.
Joe Martinez is his name, by the way, just so you're not just calling him the Mexican guy.
Thank you. The bald guy.
Here we go. Las Vegas, make some noise if you are ready.
Yeah. Woo. Here we go.
Oh God, somebody clipped that. That's amazing.
I love that.
So good.
Nice.
I would love that. But no, exactly what you're saying. Like if they had one of the old Pride announcers, that would be amazing.
They really should.
That would be amazing. Get Boss Rutan to come and commentate this.
Yes, now we're talking.
Bow, right in the mouth. Oh man. That would be amazing. That would actually make me stay up for sure for this 3 a.m. main card start. Before we move into this main card, very quickly, who do you have? Are you going with Berjang Gialisi? Or are you going with You're So Young, you?
I'm not going with Bear Gang or Berjang. Gialisi. Bear Gang. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. I read it as Bear Gang. No, jokes aside, I want to, with all due respect, to the China man. Hey, man, the way I see it, it is a toss-up, but I am going to go with the better nickname here, in Jiu-Jitsu. How did I go against you? Jiu-Jitsu. I think he will use some of that Jiu-Jitsu on his opponent, who is coming in with a good pedigree of his own. Jiu-Jitsu. 10 submissions for Bade Jang. But honestly, that might be the tale of the tape here. We might just see a lot of grappling, a lot of legs being, torn, and a lot of wrestling, a lot of groundwork. So won't paint too much more color there because that's not my area of expertise. I won't lie to you. Because it's jiu-jitsu, I'm going with you, jitsu. Come on, baby. Thank you. I know. We got to move on.
That was beautiful, bro. Just great stuff. Great stuff. I don't have anything to add. I mean, no comments, no concerns. Let's get it, man. I'm not going with Bear Gang either. I'm going with the U Gang. You so young gang. And with that being said, folks, it's time. We're making our way right on through this one.
It's time.
Thanks, Buffer. He's not going to be in China, but he's right here, folks. It's time for the main card. That is right. We have a bout at the light heavyweight division between Zhang Mingyang and Ozzy Diaz. I mean, this is an interesting one. And I mean, the fight itself is interesting as well. But what makes it so interesting to me is that Ozzy's actual name is Osman Diaz. I know what you're thinking. Why is that interesting? Well, like, what the fuck is this nerd about to say? And believe me, it is some really nerdy shit. So, The Watchmen, one of my favorite graphic novels of all time, one of my favorite comics of all time, one of my favorite comic book movies of all time. And I know you guys might disagree with me, but miss me with that bullshit kindly. The villain in that movie, in that series, in that book was Ozymandias. Osman Diaz. Like, do you think maybe his dad was a Watchmen fan?
You're putting the foil cap on here?
The tinfoil hat is fully on, bro. No spy satellites getting in this old noggin, bud. Not tonight. Not today, Satan. With that being said, Ozymandias is the bad guy. So I'm going with Zhang Mingyang here. I think he gets it done for his country. I think he gets it done for China. And I think he gets it done for the extra paycheck, right? Also, he has twice the amount of experience as his opponent does. He's coming off of an impressive round one knockout over Brenderson Hibiero, which is such a fun name to say. And of course, before then, he was supposed to fight Tyson Pedro, and that one got canceled. He probably would have done bad things to Tyson Pedro and sent him on his retirement early. But instead, he got Brenderson Hibiero, who should have been able to go out there and give him problems. But instead, this young man had a knockout for his worries. So I think he's going to go out there. And in this story, Osman Diaz is not going to win, right? And neither is Ozzy Diaz or Osman Diaz. Give me Zhang Mingyang inside the distance. Current odds are minus 340. But, if you wanted to get a little bit crazy. Oh, did they actually just change? They just changed. He actually just dropped to minus 325. He was minus 340. So odds are already shifting as they typically do while we do these shows, folks. If you did want to get them inside the distance, if you want to get them by knockout specifically, you could do that at minus 185. Again, that's damn near pick 'em. That means if you put 1 unit on it, you'd get 1.54 back. So a little over 1.5ing your money there. So, folks, I think that's probably going to be my move in this one. If I spread any cheddar on it, haven't decided quite yet, though. I haven't finalized any of my bets for this week, other than like the ones that I will tell you I finalized across these next 4 or 5 fights, because there are a couple of little tiny sprinkles, a couple little parlays here and there. But before we get to those bigger fights, we got one more little one to go through. Nano, Zhang Mingyang, Osman Diaz. Who wins and how?
Well, someone is winning by TKO or submission. I don't think that a judge will be needed on this one. Both of these guys have essentially a 100% finish rate, and essentially as in literally a 100% finish rate. So it would be the first time they would need the judges. I think they're just going to keep the trend going here. These are some big guys, big old sons of guns. But Ming Yang Zhang is going to find a path to victory. I think he'll find a way to knock out our boy Osman Diaz. Unfortunately, my dude repping LA, Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Diaz over here, like you said, maybe a watchman. He needs to be watched over on this one, unfortunately. He's going in there against a mountain tiger. You never want to play with animals, ladies and gentlemen. But all jokes aside, yeah, Min Yang Zhang's just a monster. He's 26 years old, 17-6 record, 2-0 in the UFC with 2 KOs over, like you mentioned, a tough Brenson Hibiero. So with all that considered, I'm not going to go against the guy that's fine in and is from China. So give me the mountain tiger who, kills his prey just like the animal does. So I'm going to stick with that majestic creature. Give me Ming Zhang. From China.
China. Moving into the next one, we have a light heavyweight bout. I'm actually going to let you take the lead on. We got Volkan Oezdemir coming in against Carlos Black Jag Olberg. And of course, Volkan Oezdemir's nickname is No Time. I believe it's Pro nickname because he is running out of time this late in his career at age 35, but his opponent at 34 doesn't have a ton of time left either. Nano, who do you like in this one? Tell us why.
Yeah, man. And this is one that is definitely more up our alley in terms of maybe more familiar names, familiar faces, guys that are, like you said, maybe running out of time. But I will stick with Volkan Oezdemir, No Time, since you gave me the time here, brother. This is a fun fight, man. This is a savvy veteran of the UFC. He's 35 years old, 20-7 record, 13 KOs, 2 subs, 7 years in the game, man. He's been getting after it, fighting the who's who's. 8-6 record. Hey, it's up and down, but it's a what have you done for me now league, or what have you done for me recently? And he is on a 2-fight win streak. I say this and I say it half-heartedly because I think just about anybody could do this nowadays. But he knocked out Johnny Walker. I know, another one. These things happen nowadays. Again, I think a revolving door might be able to do the same thing. Unfortunately, no. All jokes aside, love you, Johnny Walker, but tough. It's been a tough stretch. And you're finding some big boys here, and that's exactly what Volkan Oezdemir is. Doesn't mess around. He's got all the skills, and he's got those heavy hands. I think that's the neutralizer. Although he's going in against a tough Carlos Olberg, a Ben favorite, a fan favorite as well. He's coming out of Australia, and that team with Israel Adesanya and Dan Hooker and Volkanovski and all those guys. How do you not like him? Those guys seem like some solid blokes. Somebody you want to catch a shrimp off the bobby with. But and Carlos Olberg is sitting as the favorite. He's 11-1, minus 245 at the time that this is recorded. It will probably change because that's what we do. We cause ripple effects here in the bet odds because we're so professional. That's right. We know you're watching Vegas. You may act like you're hiding, but we see you. I digress. Carlos, he obviously has the Black Jag. Great nickname here. Just talking about the Mountain Tiger. Now we're talking about the Black Jag. Has the knockout power. He's coming off a couple big wins. In fact, now that I'm looking at it, 5 finishes in a row since 2022. Bring him up, knock him down. Most recently over in Alonzo Menafield. 7-1 in the UFC, Carlos Olberg is. But honestly, I think this is going to be his biggest test. I truly think this is the biggest test for him, in my opinion. So he's going to have a lot to prove, and he's going to have to weather that storm. The Volcom storm is a quite a treacherous one. I'm going against the grain, man. It's just, I think part of it's just maybe looking at these pictures, looking at Volcom's bald head, and just thinking, this guy's so gosh darn powerful, and I think I just need to see a little bit more from Carlos. Yes, he has all the great statistics and is on a great streak. And I don't know, I'll probably be eating my words next week, but for now, I'm going to stick with the guy in my gut who knocked out my boy Johnny. I'm going to do it for Johnny here, man. We're going to do it for Johnny.
Let's do it for Johnny.
Let's do it for Johnny, man.
Do it for Johnny, man.
Do it for Johnny.
No.
Are you doing it for Johnny, man? What are you doing,
I'm not doing it for Johnny, man. I'm doing it for fucking Black Jag. Look, I can tell you 2 things about Carlos Olberg. I wouldn't want to leave my woman in a room alone with him. and I wouldn't want to bet against him on Saturday morning. I think this man is going to go out here and put no time to out of time. I think he's going to put him on skates early on. The man has knockout power in both hands. He's got one-shot knockout power. And Volkan is definitely somebody that is a beast, right? We've seen him knock folks out too. His more recent win that impressed me a lot more than the Johnny Walker one was over Bogdan Guskov, a.k.a. Tattoo-less Anthony Smith. That was a hell of a win. But if you look at the fights before then, like his most noteworthy win before then was over Paul Craig, who should have never been fighting at light heavyweight. And then after that, he got just beat on for 15 minutes by Nikita Krylov, essentially. And Magomed Ankalaev did pretty bad things to him as well. So I also think that because Yuri Prokaska got that win over him and it was a knockout in round number 2, that's one of the main reasons that I'm leaning towards the fact that I do think Volkan can get knocked out by someone who has a good traditional skill set. And Carlos Ulberg has better striking than Yuri, in my opinion. I like Yuri. I'm a fan. Like, let's do that the samurai way. Let's go for that one. I like Yuri. I'm a big fan of his. But yeah, I'm with Sav here. He's gonna win based on gorgeousness, bro. Like, have you ever looked into Carlos Ulberg's eyes? That's what's going to happen with Usman. He's going to look in his eyes. He's going to get mesmerized, hypnotized, and then he's going to get brutalized. It's going to happen on Saturday inside the cage, folks. That was another one I just kind of came up with off the tongue there. It was nice. I felt that one. Yeah, give me the Black Jag. I like the nickname better, and I also like the skill set better. I also like the fact that he's coming into this with a slight reach advantage in 2 inches, especially with him being somebody that knows how to use it. Now, this next one I will definitely take the lead on. I will keep it rather short and rather sweet here, folks. We got a women's flyweight bout between Wong Kong coming in against Gabriela Fernandez. Folks, this one is going to be an absolute fucking fatality. Because Wong Kong is going to come out there and do Joker shit, right? She showed up to the weigh-ins as usual, full-on Joker face paint, looking like an absolute lunatic, doing the finger guns. Her opponent looked both annoyed and confused, which, good on her. She has the right to be annoyed and confused by such a thing. But Wong just kind of never broke character and kept it going. And I think she's going to do the same thing inside the cage. We saw her do this in her last match. I thought, that's maybe a bit cringe. She might go out there and get beat. This girl she's going against has a significant amount more experience than her, this, that, and the other. And to my surprise, she went out there and knocked her opponent out in just 1 minute and 2 seconds. Not something you usually see in flyweight, and something you see even less in women's flyweight. Everyone calling Kong cringe is going to be a fake fan once again when she gets a round 1 KO. Facts! Can we hit her with some air horns?
Sav speaking truth.
Look, folks, after Wong Kong goes out there and gets a fucking knockout that sends her opponent all the way to Hong Kong, all of these people calling her cringe, we're going to be looking for them like, where are you? And I'm so sorry. She's probably going to ruin your parlay tomorrow night. Give me Wong Kong in this one. If you're picking Gabriela Fernandez, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems, but this fight pick ain't one. It's Wong Kong all fucking day. Who you got, Nano? And tell me why it's Wong Kong.
Because she's special, brother. You know why. You know the answer to that question, man. It's rhetorical. She's the Joker. Surprised you didn't do the laugh. There it is, baby. The Joker's no joke, though, man. That... pun intended, unintended there. That knockout was sheesh. And everything else, the lead up, like you mentioned, really doubling down on the quote unquote shtick or her kind of approach. I like it, man. It's different. It's obviously authentic, and anyone that's being authentic, I can get behind. And when she's authentically just beating people's ass like that and knocking people out cold, like you said, it's not something that's done often. And to do that in a debut is, I think that was a power statement said. Sure, she's going to have a tough opponent in front of her. Gabi Fernandez is not going to just sit there and get knocked out, right? She's going to have something to say about it. She's a tough opponent, and she's very technically sound. Coming out of Brazil, Chama. All these girls fighting from Brazil, they got really, really good fundamental skill set. I assume she's not going to make those mistakes, but to your point, right? Why do you do all the antics? Why do you dress up? Why do you try to be the Joker? Is you're also trying to do a little bit of that mental warfare, and I love it. Any edge you could try to get on your opponent is what you want to do, even if it's just second guessing, or hey, maybe you take it personal, and now you're getting outside of yourself a little bit more than you normally would, or especially than you are that maybe you're used to training. So that can definitely be something. But Gabi, she looks tough. She's strong. Like, she's physically imposing. And again, she seems to be really patient and fundamentally sound. All that said and done, like Kong Wing, we've seen all it takes is one clean one to get you out of there. So I'm leaning with the Joker here. The odds are crazy. If you want to really play a little game, or I don't know, that's not really Joker's line, but something that he might say. You'll play a game. Then maybe you chase the knockout or TKO or double winning method. Maybe a little bit more in the middle there, but yeah, Kong's going to get it done. The Joker's going to find a way to get it done.
The Joker's going to find a way to get it done, folks, because look, Gabriela Fernandez is a son of a bitch. She is a beast. She is a fighter. But I declare, Bruce, she's no Batman. Come on. The Joker's going to have the last laugh on Saturday, folks. We know this. The next one might be one of the more intriguing matchups on the card for me. It's a welterweight bout between Song Kenan and Muslim Salikov, a.k.a. the King of Kung Fu. Now, why is this one of the more intriguing fights? I mean, one man is 40, one man is 34, but they're at almost identical trajectory stages in their career right now. And they match up pretty damn well. Both men stand like right around the same height. We have a 6-footer and a 5'9"er, and then we've got a 71.5 inch reach and a 70 inch reach. So right around there, right around that like 1 to 3 inch advantage or 1 to 3 inch range as far as height and reach goes within each other. And of course, you got Song Kenan fighting out of China, the assassin in this one. His opponent, though, Muslim Salikov, the King of Kung Fu. You might not think a guy named the King of Kung Fu. He's from Russia. So interesting stuff, right? King of Kung Fu from Russia. Not a huge wrestler like most of his other counterparts from Russia. More of a knockout artist, right? And as long as you're not Nicholas Dalby or, the Leech or Randy Brown, you've had a hell of a tough time against this guy in the UFC. So I keep going back and forth on this one because I know that Song Kenan is someone that does have a chance against most people he's in there with. He had success against Ian Machado Gary, right? But the fight before that one, he got knocked out in 2 minutes and 20 seconds by Max Payne Griffin. So I got to go with the more consistent fighter here. I got to go with the guy that's fought higher competition in more recent years. And for me, that's the guy that just got a split decision over Santiago, the Ponzi scheme, Ponzinibbio. Give me the King of Kung Fu. What to get it done over here. I think he gets it done via knockout, if I'm being completely honest with you, man. Who do you got?
Ooh, oh man. Yeah, there's a lot of favorable things here when you're looking at Muslim Salikov, the King of Kung Fu, 40 years old, probably has some of that dad strength at this point. 20-5 record, 13 KOs, 2 submissions, and he is associated with Abdul Manap Nurmagomedov's school of training. If that name Nurmagomedov rings a bell, yes, that is Khabib's daddy. That is the same school. So very well trained, very well versed. If they're approving the King of Kung Fu, then so be it. Give this man the crown. Don't matter where your territory is, he's getting it done. But Yeah, I wanted to give him his flowers real quick. I mean, he's been in the UFC for 7 years, 7-4 record. Again, a lot of great things stylistically that are favorable here for both guys. Like as a viewer, this is going to be a fun one. You're going to see some fun strikes. You're going to see two guys with highest level of IQ fighting wise. That eagle don't mess around. That's a great sound, man. It's scary. But yeah, man, the reality is, though, with the Muslim, he is 40 years old. He has lost to some heavy hitters. Our boy Randy Harud Boy Brown, to name one of them. Nicholas Dalby as well, Jing Liang Li. I'm seeing a trend here. You know, if you do have enough steam behind your punches, if you have enough spring in your step, if you have enough bite on your mouthpiece, there's a path to victory here against the Muslim. And I think that's where Kenan the Assassin Song comes in. He's fighting in China. He's in his backyard. The man has flown close to the sun before. He almost had me and Gary. He had him, man. He had him, dwindling, but then he lost, obviously. We know what happened there. But boy, has he had some moments and some fun flashes in his 7-year career here as well. 6-4 record, 22-8, 9 KOs, 9 subs, evenly stacked. I like it on Song, man. This is somebody that you just simply want to root for. He does obviously have some L's on his record also, but he's durable. He's always a punch away from getting you out of there, and he's fine in his backyard. I can't go against him here. I'm going to be contrarian. I'm going to go with the young buck as well. I mean, that 6-year age gap, on the other side of 30. Come on, man. Come on. Give me
You've been a real
Song.
homeboy tonight. You've been a real homer tonight. I'm not mad at it. I'm just disappointed.
One of us will be, or both of us.
Oh man, one of us is definitely going to be wrong more often than not when it comes to the results of this one. Now, moving into the next one, we have the co-main event of the evening, folks. That's right. It is a women's strawweight bout between Yan Xiaonan and Tabitha Baby Shark Ricci. Nano. I'm going to let you take the lead on this one. I feel like we are definitely going to disagree again.
Oh, man. Well, this one's tough. I was just talking about the age. I'm pretty consistent on that. So I might sound contrarian here when I do pick, again, the local talent in Yan Xiaonan, rep in China. She does also train with my boy Uriah Faber out here in Cali and Sacramento. Shout out the fam. Shout out Sac. Shout out Sac State Stingers up. Shout out Uriah Faber. Shout out Cal Poly Wrestling. A little throwback. My boy was a wrestling teammate of Uriah Faber. So that's how far back we go. I digress. That's right. And now it's Coach Uriah around these pots. But yeah, Xiaonan, I've just seen so much from her. I have the highest respect. She's an absolute stud. She's getting better and better, aging like a fine wine in there in the UFC octagon. I think she's going to find a way to get it done against the Baby Shark. Unfortunately, I do think Tabitha Ricci is a great example of that new generation, the young up-and-comers, even though she's 29 years old. She's kind of in that peak. But what you do see with these female fighters, and again, I'm going to leave some meat on the bone here. I'm curious to hear your breakdown stylistically or how you expect things to go. But I'm leaning now Xiaonan. I just think she's I feel like the female fighters kind of have their peak and their, I guess just peak performance a little bit later into their 30s. Like they kind of hold on to that prime kind of age. And Yan's still in it. She's getting better, like I said, each time she goes in there. And although Baby Shark definitely has some paths to victory, she's younger, a little more springy, right? She's 11-2 record, 1 KO, 3 subs. Man, this is a big test. This is a really, really big test. And we've seen her, unfortunately, lose in some of these close matchups to a Lupi Godinez, for example, a Manon Fior back in 2021, which...
Great job on that name.
Thank you, man. And Manon Fior is a beast, as we all well know, and she's on her way to a future contender title shot here, but she's also 34 years old, right? It's like, there's something about, I don't know if it's just that age or that number, but Give me the old bull on this one. Give me Team Alpha Male. Give me Team Alpha Female here in Yan Zhaonan to find a path to victory to uphold her Ben favorite at 195. Talk to me, brother. I mean, are we finally steering the same ship here, or
we're back? We're back. I switched to some more fun music because we're back, baby. Yan, baby. Yan Xiaonan. I like Tabitha Ricci. You know this, man. I'm a big Tabitha Ricci fan. I like her a lot, but I just can't bet on her in this one. S-Dogs MMA said, I want to see the boys take an edible and hop on the show. Bro, I'm like Bruce Banner. You know, he stays angry. I stay taking edibles.
I mean, if the lights are on, there are probably some edibles being eaten, my brother. But let's go. I'm happy to be there.
Let's go. Yeah,
Back up the doses.
Let's fucking do it, brother. Let's fucking do it.
Say less.
The other day, what was it? The last time me and you recorded, I think I was drinking the like drinkable THC drinks. Those are nice. Those are so nice.
I haven't done that often. I need to take a gander.
So nice. They sell the 4-packs at one of the little drive-in places over here, and nice. It's like the same strength as an edible, but it's quicker because it's liquid and the absorbency. Speaking of quicker and liquid and absorbency, S-Talks for you, my friend. Cheers. And as I break down this yawn fight, something you won't be doing is yawning. Because I digress. This lady, she puts on fights, she puts on bangers, and she does fight out of Team Alpha Male, as my guy so eloquently said. Ricci she's a brawler. She's good, but make no mistake about it, she typically does only enough to win the fight, right? She doesn't go out of her way to really dominate or steal it from somebody. She does just enough to win the fight, nothing less, nothing more. And that's dangerous when you're going against somebody that does have true finishing power like a Yan Xiaonan, somebody who has fought the world best in Zhang Weili. So give me China's very own Yan Xiaonan. I like that one. I like that one a lot. That is leg one of my 2-leg parlay in the main and co-main here. And I will tell you, spoiler alert, it's themed. So if that tells you anything, you know who the next pick is.
Oh.
Yeah. So with that being said, we'll move into the main event of the evening, folks. That's right, Bruce. Let's tee up Bruce here.
Time
for a bantamweight bout between Piotr Jan and Davison Figgy, can't you see? Figueiredo coming out here. Every time I say the name Figueiredo, I just want to play this. Those two things feel like they would be synonymous, like they would just
pretty
go
natural. Yeah,
need a Figgy doll, Sav. Yeah, 100% factual stuff, kids. We need that. So yeah, please get on that. Also waiting on that Mackenzie Dern one, Sav. Moving forward, Piotr Jan versus Davison Figueiredo is an interesting one. Obviously, Davison Figueiredo is a former flyweight champion and contender, multiple-time flyweight champion, right? But he is now up at 135 pounds, and he has looked good thus far at 135 pounds against the likes of Marlon Chito Vera, as well as Cody Garbrandt. We saw him get the knockout win over Cody Garbrandt. We saw him get the win over Marlon Chito Vera, and we also saw him get the win over Javi Fanch, who I love. That being said, he has not fought a Piotr Jan. He has not fought a world breaker like him. So I think Jan is probably going to go out here and get it done. He's going to do Peter Yan things as long as he doesn't knee the face off of a grounded fucking opponent. You know what I'm talking about. Can't do it, bro. Can't do it. As long as he doesn't do that mistake again, I think he should win this fight. I think he should find a way to win this fight. And before you give your breakdown, did you see Nina Drama ask him if there's any advice that his coach has given him that changed the outcome of a fight? Or there's any? She said, is there any advice that you've ever been given that changed the outcome of a fight? And he said, yeah, my coach is yelling, throw the knee.
That's what Piotr said?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
At least he's willing to make jokes about it and be self-deprecating because, wow.
I can appreciate the humility on that for sure. Definitely makes me like him a little bit more.
That's as good as Bo Nickel at the post-fight presser. Did you hear his thing about the booze?
Did he even acknowledge it? What did he say?
They asked him, they were like, so, you're an NCAA wrestler, you fought in stadiums, blah, blah, blah. You're used to having people cheer for you. What was it like hearing the crowd tonight? And, they're obviously referencing the booze. And he's like, honestly, it was, you're right. I have fought in front of, a lot of crowds, a lot of stadiums. And it was still really crazy, really wild to hear it. I've actually never, even in all of my times fighting and wrestling, I've never heard someone say a name and chant a name and draw it out so long. Like, it was crazy to hear everyone saying the same thing. Bo.
I see.
This fucking guy, bro. He's so...
A little Chael Sonnen action there.
Crazy. Dude. You just don't compare him to Chael Sonnen. I'm playing that again.
Come on, don't be crazy.
I apologize.
Yeah.
Partially for coughing, but also the Chael comparison. You're right.
Yeah, don't apologize for coughing because that's a bodily function. But comparing him to Chael Sonnen is that's another thing I don't want to say out loud.
That's a mental lapse. It's a
lapse. It's a lapse in judgment. So you doesn't sound like you want to go with Peter Yan here.
Man, I want to yawn with you. I do want to yawn with you. I got one of the yawns. I got a yawn, but I can't yawn, man. I can't yawn. I'm Figgy. Can't you see? Can't you see? I am hypnotized by those words, my brother. To reference Biggie. And Figgy is a biggie boy, my brother. I think that's the one takeaway for me here.
The Yan Xiaonan line just moved.
Oh, did it really?
It's minus 185 now.
I'm telling you. And watch this Figgy line move as well, because there's going to be some money. I'm literally
watching it now.
Dude, I'm telling you. The thing is with my guy Figgy is, one, he's the next champion. And he was somebody that had a good reign until the Brandon Moreno chapter happened. Like a Star Wars trilogy. There's 4 of them. 4 of those damn things. That's how it felt. It was one episode after another, prequel after sequel, after follow-up, after tune in next time.
Spin-offs.
What a time, man. What a time. But it kept us busy. There certainly were some really fun fights. But then you realized he's just too gosh darn big for this division. So he did the right thing. He moved up, did the hard thing. And he's just been an absolute world beater since then. Last 2 years, he's been 3-0 in the new division. He was able to get RNC on a Cody Garbrandt, which maybe not be saying much. But the Chito Vera win was really impressive to me. I saw a lot. Saw a figure that didn't fade. I mean, this is a Chito that obviously had a lot of hype. Still does. But he had a lot to fight for. And Figgy the thing is, his game, man, he's really, really tricky, really hard to pin down, really hard to plan for, and he's strong and tough as nails. And I do think his grappling is going to be the nullifier here. If he decides to just try to sit in the pocket and fight a Piotr Yan, it's going to be a Yan day for Figgy. You like that one? Peter's one of the best boxers. Skill for skill, tit for tat, one of the most skilled fighters that we've seen in this division in the UFC. Boxing wise, he is up there in the tops, and I'd say top 5, but I don't want to get too crazy here. But he's certainly one of those guys. I'm trying to, like, for you football fans out there, it's like he's like the Buffalo Bills, or he's like the 49ers of recent. He's certainly not the Chiefs, okay? He's cursed. There's something about it. He just, I don't want to say cursed because that's a little too much. Maybe I don't believe in that voodoo BS, but he just unfortunately can't get the job done. He's had some close ones, and I think it's ever since that knee. He made joke about it. I'm glad he's in a good mental space about it. But frankly, ever since then, it's just been, he went from being the cream of the crop to just crop. Just complete crop. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's crop. But, you know, that 3-5 losing streak, losing to Aljo after the DQ to Aljo, losing to Sugar Sean, which was debatable, right? But still, you leave a wounded dog in there for too long. You leave it to the judges. It's out of your hands at that point. And then Marab just, Marabbed him of that title. And now he's a champ. So, hey, maybe you can talk me out of it. You know, I can see where Jan is, and that he's still that guy, right? He's still someone that is a force to be reckoned with. And you can make the case he's fighting the smaller guy here, but I think Figgy's probably walking around much bigger than Piotr. I think he is 2 inches shorter, which I find interesting, but that stockiness for a Figgy is gonna pay dividends. I just like what I'm seeing, man. I think he's closer to going that direction to fight for another title, being a 2-time champion, which is rare, but he matches up well with those types of guys, with the Marab or the wrestlers. He has a good striking game as well. Figgy, I can see it, brother. I'm all in.
Well, we are definitely opposing forces on this one. Gonna answer this question in the chat real quick. What up, Ricky? Thanks for joining the show tonight, and thanks for the question. Y'all got Mota or Machete? Machete. I'm gonna hedge that bet. I'm gonna do probably Mota by finish and Mahashate money line. I think Mahashate probably wins, but Mota does definitely have a knockout chance there. He has power in both hands. He's fast, and he's got really, really solid counters. So I could see Mota getting it done, but Mahashate is the more likely operator in there. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree. I like the underdog there in Mata. I think he's a live dog for sure. Has the punch and power. But from a betting perspective, Mahashate, he's the betting favorite right now. He's 7 years younger. I think statistically speaking, a little more likely to get it done. He's also from China, finding his backyard. I'm not seeing it that way. I think out of all the dogs here, that's one of them that I think I would probably lean towards a Mota. But Machete is that's a fun one to start us off. So I'll certainly be tuned in.
Absolutely. And jumping back to this main event, like the reason that I'm taking Peter Yan here, there's a couple of reasons. Obviously, the main one is the fact that he has always been a bantamweight, and he has always been a pretty decently sized bantamweight, right? So if you look at the size here, he is has a 1 inch reach deficit here against Davison Figueiredo, but he is 2 inches taller. So that makes a vast difference. Davison Figueiredo, even with the 1 inch reach advantage, will be punching up to an extent, which can prove to be quite exhausting after a 15-minute fight, let alone a 25-minute one. And if you look at who Peter Yan has fought recently, his most recent fight was against a very, very game and powerful up-and-coming Song Yadong. What did he do to him? He outlanded him. He outworked him on takedowns. He outlanded him on significant strikes. He beat him statistically and clinically across the distance. And mind you, I picked against him in that fight. I picked Song Yadong. I thought Song was going to be powerful enough to go out there and get it done, but he simply was not. And then the fight before, you did mention that Marab went out there and did Marab things, right? He got the Marabbery. It also took 49 attempted takedowns by Marab to land just 22% of them at 11. Like, that's wild. He blocked over 30 takedowns from this man. From Marab. That's saying something. So I don't think Davison's going to have an easy time getting him down. And then, I mean, the fights before then, obviously, we don't talk about the Aljamain Sterling fights, right? Those are tough. But the win over Corey Sandhagen, come on. Let me ask you this. If you put Corey Sandhagen against Davison Figueiredo, who would you bet on?
Ooh. I mean, it's hard to bet against the Sandman, but I like Jason Figgy. The thing is,
I know you do.
at this weight class, like he's a little more durable. I think he was just killing himself to go down, and the wrestling game and just the strength, the jiu-jitsu, and his kind of odd style on the feet, for lack of a better phrase. It's very, very unique. It's no rhythm. It's very offbeat. I guess maybe best word to use that, but
he stands kind of weirdly flat-footed and just plods forward and throws strikes. But Piotr does the same shit. Like they both have very similar weird styles. I can see them both just standing in front of each other, like throwing, trading, fucking.
I like Peter because he always keeps his hands right here, just hands up, postured, boom, boom, snapping, pop, 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 clean, right back, reset, boom, boom, shuffle in, shuffle out, side. Ooh, there you go, brother. Yeah, no, I mean Peter's clean with this. He's clean with them mittens. I just think he's just good at. He's just good at mixing them up, though, dude. I'm telling you, he's nasty, man. He's got that edge to him, that hair, everything about him, like. And honestly, he's probably gonna weigh like 20 pounds more than Piotr once it actually sounds off that night, I suppose. But
well, if that's the case, I mean, if you're that confident, maybe I'll do like a Bizarro card. I'll do my normal parlay, which is Yan Xiaonan minus 185, Piotr Yan minus 305. You pair them together, you get them at plus 104 odds. Again, one unit turns into 2.04. And then if we do the Bizarro one, we hit a little Tabitha Ricci, gets it done. We hit a little Davis and Figueiredo, gets it done. Plus 154, plus 245. You add them all up and you get plus 776. So one unit turns into more like 8.76. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a full unit on the Yan and Yan, and maybe like a fifth of a unit on the other one. Cover the spread, folks. And then what's going to happen is Jan's going to win, and the other Jan's not going to win, and then I make nothing. But it's okay because we'll have other bets running, and we'll make our money then. This is a fact.
That's facts.
Oh, excuse me. Very untimely sneeze, but at least I think I hit the mic mute
you did
there before.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Solid, brother.
Let's go. Sometimes I'm not quick enough. I feel like I'm running on dial-up, you know? Now, with that being said, folks, that is it for the fight night. But there was an announcement while we were actually live here. Not about this fight card, but about an upcoming one that is getting worked on. So it is Diego Lopez rumored to fight against Josh Emmett in a Mexico City card in the main event. March 29th, UFC Fight Night, Mexico City.
Well, they probably had to come out with that once Volk pretty much shut it down that he's not fighting Diego. I think there's certainly a lot of that buzzing around. My initial reaction is I think it's a little bit of a down step for our boy Diego. I love that he's staying busy. And unfortunately, I like my boy Josh Emmett, repping Sac as well, Sacramento. Diego, it's favorable, I would say, for our boy Diego. Obviously, gut reaction.
That's what I'm going with.
And if it's still rumored, maybe we won't dive in too much. Maybe we'll wait until we get the confirmation or, TBD. But honestly, let me look at the rankings.
I've seen it pop up on a handful of things.
Okay, looks like it's narrowing in.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that or it's a really solid rumor that's caught fire.
Yeah. I mean, he's sitting at the 8th spot. Josh Emmett, Diego's at 3, so not totally crazy. Both single digits. Everyone's great at that point. I think they're throwing around an Arnold Allen, if I'm not mistaken. Diego would be a really fun one. I don't know why they didn't call him up. But Josh Emmett, sign me up. Diego Lopez, they know where to find him. Where are you?
Be a fun fight.
He's going to be in training. He's going to be in the octagon.
Training day.
Let's go, baby.
Let's fucking go.
Can't wait, man.
That's going to be a really, 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 really fun fight. If they end up making that one, getting that one scheduled, I'd be very, very excited to see that one. And I would definitely bet the mortgage on Diego Lopez in that one. I like him to win that fight. And maybe it's just because I'm a bit of a fanboy of him at this point in time. You know, but either way, folks, that's it for UFC Macau. I can't wait to watch it all go down. I will be in Vegas, so hopefully we hit some money there, as well as on these fights whenever we hit up the sports books. And with that being said, folks, if you bet, again, please, please, please only gamble with money that you are wholeheartedly willing to lose, because you don't always cash and go to the bank, right? Sometimes you're just donating to the bookies' Christmas fund. But either way, folks, we hope that if you do bet, you win every single one of them, as long as they're not against our picks, right? And with that being said, if you're new here, if you're old here, or somewhere in between, I see there's 35 of you folks watching on Twitter right now. Let's go, Twitter, X, whatever you call it. We appreciate each and every one of you. And if you could do us a freaking huge favor, hop on over to the YouTube. It is YouTube at MMAnomaly. I also posted the link in the chat on the Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. If you could just drop a like, a comment, a subscribe, smash that bell for notifications if it's your first time around. And that would just mean the absolute world to us, folks. And we'd love to just see and hear, who do you have winning these fights for UFC Macau? Which fight are you most excited about on this fight night? And are you going to watch it live, or are you going to wake up the next morning and watch it like most of the world in America? Most of the world in America. Most of the American fight fans, I should say. Jeez Louise, kid. Get it together. And above all else, Nano, do you have anything else to add?
Hey man, you covered it. Appreciate y'all. Tune in to the fights, and like you said, hit like, subscribe. We need all the support here. Comment in the chats, like Sav said. Good night, mates. We'll see y'all soon. Let's go.
And thank you, everybody that was in the live chat. We appreciate all the comments. We appreciate all the energy, all the support. And can't wait to see you same time, same place next week, folks. Until then, the one thing we ask you to do above all else, keep on going, keep on growing. We freaking love.
You've been listening to the MMAnomaly Show. No filter. As you may have been able to tell, we dig the MMA, and our passion is to dive deep into the upcoming fights, give you our expert breakdowns, and help you make sense of all the chaos that is the fight game. We hope you've enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, make sure to find us on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at MMAnomaly. Be cool, and we'll see you next time.